Division, the battleground of attack. The ego despises weakness, even though it makes every effort to induce it. The ego wants only what it hates. To the ego, this is perfectly sensible, believing in the power of attack. The ego wants attack. Discussing these 4 sentences enables us to flesh out the ego's bellicose activity. The ego believes in the power of attack because that is what gave rise to it. The belief we attacked God when we separated. We then attacked His voice, the Holy Spirit, by telling Him we were not interested in His atonement principle that would have undone our newly made and cherished self. The penultimate stroke in the ego's strategy for preserving this self is making the mindless world and body as defense against the delusional belief that God will attack us in retaliation for ours on Him. The body finally proceeds to attack itself and other bodies, reinforcing the basic weakness of the ego which it hates, even as it fosters such weakness through continual attack. We can see, therefore, that the ego's thought system evolves through division, splitting 4 times, wherein each split constitutes an attack. The first split, again, is the separation, wherein we attack our Creator by in effect telling Him that His love was not enough for us. In Hamlet's words, we found metal more attractive. Confronted then by 2 mutually exclusive reactions to the tiny mad idea, the ego and the Holy Spirit, we need to make a decision between the 2. The second split then comes when our decision-making selves split the wrong-minded ego from the right-minded Holy Spirit. This virtually buries our teacher, with the ego telling the Son not to pay any attention to his voice because it lies. As a result, it appears we have a wrong mind that from the ego's point of view has attacked successfully, dividing the Son from the Holy Spirit, apparently forever. The third split occurs when the ego tells us there is a battle raging within the mind and we need to flee from attack and make a body. There is now a split between mind and body. And once we split from the mind and see ourselves as bodies, we forget where we came from. This, then, is one of the laws of the ego splitting off dynamic. What we split off to veils what we split off from, causing us to forget our source and our source, small s. When we split off from God, we forget there is a creator, an amnesia that establishes us as self-created. When we split off the wrong from the right mind and identify with the former, we forget there is a right mind. And when we split the body off from the mind, we forget the very mind itself and become mindless bodies, with no hope of changing our prior decision for the ego. Once we are in the body, it divides itself per the mind's directive, and now the battle becomes body against body. This final split attack takes 2 forms. The first, which we examine only briefly here because it becomes more prominent in the next chapter, is when we feel attacked by others and feel justified in attacking in return. The everyday battles of our special relationships in which mutual unforgiveness represents the split between our bodies and others. The second form of interbody warfare is seen in disease, where bodies called germs, bacteria, and viruses attack our bodies. We fight not only on the battleground of relationships, but sickness as well, wherein bodies are vulnerable to the attacks of microorganisms. Following the so-called laws of nature, our bodies also fight against us as they age, gradually deteriorating and diminishing in function. We are always striving to fight against our ill bodies, a battle we will surely lose because death is the ultimate victor. In summary, the ego's strategy of mindlessness compromises 4 splits or divisions: the separation from God, the wrong from the right mind, the body from the mind, and finally body from body. This last is the mind's projected battle between God and the ego, now waged on the battleground of the special relationship that includes battles against sickness. We can say, as we will see shortly, that sickness is really divided purpose, ourselves divided against ourselves. Healing, then, is unified purpose, wherein mind and body are no longer seen as separated. Ideas leave not their source. The idea of separation can never leave its source in the mind, which means that sickness is only the mind's decision for the thought system of separation, sin, guilt, and fear. Separate bodies are seen to share a common purpose, as do mind and body. To the ego, it is the purpose of attack and coveting mindlessness. Since everyone is divided, battles rage continuously. To the Holy Spirit, it is the purpose of undoing the belief in attack and restoring us to mindfulness. This is the role of the miracle, which restores to the mind its power as decision maker. Our new teacher sees no battle, only an erroneous belief in division. No opponent, only a mistaken choice to be separate that can be healed and undone when we choose to join with him and identify with his thought system of forgiveness.